I've had a bit of a rest lately from my healing side of my business. Not that I haven't had a few clients through, but I've noticed lately that there seems to be categories of clients. There are people who are experiencing valid blocks in their lives caused from past life, ancestral issues brought forward that cause cycles of similarity, boom and bust cycles, blocks of sadness and disappointment, anger, anxiety. And these types of issues are easily cleared by working with spirit to go to the source of where the issue was created, past life or ancestral, and healing the issue at its source. And of course, closing off the wormhole, the activation of that issue within this lifetime, and clearing down the cycles of similarity that have occurred that only seek to strengthen that particular negative influence. So there are definitely issues that can be cleared in one healing session. The other category of client, or another category of client that I've bumped into, are people who have external entity issues. And these people are interesting because quite often, through, I suppose, exposure to the word entity, through exposure to social media, believe they have an entity when in reality they just have a bad habit, shall I say, a situation that recurs for them that they are blaming on an external influence. No judgment in what I'm saying, but this is what happens. And when these people come to a healer with the necessity to remove an entity, quite often the very assumption that they have an entity disallows them to be able to accept that the source of their issue is something else. For instance, there are many habits, seeking the right word here, I think habits will have to do, that are not helpful. Maybe belief systems, programming, ways of doing things that can be cleared in the same way as the previous category of clients can be cleared. But if someone comes along to a healer convinced they've got an entity, and the healer instead is led to clear a belief, then quite often the assumption that this belief is an entity will stop and stand in the way of actually clearing the core issue of what it is. And therefore, no matter what the healer does, including gratifying the client's request to remove an entity, won't fix the issue, because the issue stems from somewhere else. Now, in the case that a person does have an entity, there is still the reason why they have the entity. There is always an agreement made that allows that entity into the field of that being. For instance, I had one fellow come to me quite recently who actually clearly did have an entity. And the minute we started talking, this was one-on-one, about clearing the agreement of entrapment with that entity, honestly, I saw his eyes glaze over. A little bit like if you've watched Supernatural with Sammy and Dean on television. And he started backing out really, really quickly. Said to him, hey, this is the entity. We've hit the nail on the head here. What we're talking about now is the agreement of entrapment, and this entity doesn't want to go. And he left. He didn't stay. Interesting. So there are people who have entities, and there are people who think they have entities. There are many people who have come to me who have had entities that didn't know they had entities. So there is certainly, this goes round in a big circle. Entities can be removed, but never ever make the assumption that the issue that you are struggling with is from an external entity or external force. Once you've made that agreement with yourself, that agreement needs to be cleared before the healing can take place. The other category of client that I've noticed are people who are just looking for a quick fix. People who are not taking responsibility for their own life. Now, okay, that might sound harsh, but in reality, what I'm talking about here is that it's not always something that's out of your control that is causing the issue in your life. It can be. It can be category 1, where there's an ancestral or past life issue that's been awakened and is cycling through, that dimension is cycling through your life. That can be cleared. There are situations where even if it's not a past life or ancestral, where something has occurred in this lifetime that has you trapped, like a psychic projection, a curse. Hey, if you were, chased and scared by a dog when you were a child, that may have awoken a past life memory or an ancestral memory being attacked, or may not. Maybe it just scared you so much that you have a phobia, and that phobia can be cleared, and that's okay. But if the issue that you're facing is really as a result of a habit that you have adopted within your life, or even a belief or programming that you've adopted within your life, then one healing session isn't going to clear it. What you really need is a series of mentorship sessions to help you to get your life back on track. And I found this over and over with people who are looking for a healer to heal them, when in reality all healing is self-healing, even the other categories that I've mentioned. The healer can only perform a healing function, a ceremony perhaps, to assist the person to release the energy on their own. If the person refuses to release the energy that has them trapped, then they're not going to receive a healing, no matter what the healer does. There needs to be a willingness to heal, a willingness to let go of the energy that has the person trapped. It seems to get more and more complicated over the years that I have functioned as a healing practitioner. In the beginning, there were many people who would come and be healed, self-healed, whatever, would come to my practice and would perform the healing, and the healing would happen and would stick. But it seems that Spirit is more and more asking people to take responsibility for their lives these days. I have one mentorship client who I'm working with over 3 months, and the first 3 mentorship sessions ended up being 3 healing sessions. And those 3 healing sessions removed the blocks that were stopping him from moving forward in his life. And I'm grateful that this man saw the value of that and was open enough to release those energies, and that now he's moving ahead with what it is that he really wanted to do with his life, and it's happening. But it wouldn't have happened for him if he hadn't committed to those sessions. 1 healing session wouldn't have done it. In his case, 2 healing sessions wouldn't have done it. And the 3rd one was the cream on the cake for this guy. So what am I saying here? Healing is a journey. Sure, come along, book a consultation call with me that will only cost you a small amount of money, and let's see what it is that's really going on under the hood. What is there that needs repairing for you? And if your issue can be cleared in 1 session, then I will deduct the cost of that consultation from that session for you. And we'll work together and clear it. If you need more work, if you need to understand the spiritual world beyond the veil, to understand how these things work, I will work with you, and I will tutor you to understand entities, psychic projections, assumptions, beliefs, programs, so that you may understand more fully how these things happen, and then be empowered to clear them from your own life. If you find that the same things happen over and over again, boom and bust cycles, relationship breakdowns, ebb and flow of having money, not having money, whatever it might be, then I encourage you to also book a consultation. Let's talk about it, and let's see if you are willing to work through the assumptions, beliefs and habits that you have assimilated into your lifestyle that are causing these issues. And amongst your commitment to a series of mentorship sessions, there will be healing. I guarantee there will be at least 1 or 2 of those sessions that we will do some healing together. So this seems to be the new energy of healing, where 80% of clients that came to me would get cleared in 1 session. Now it seems 80% of people that come to me could really do with at least three mentorship sessions, which 1 or more of those may be healing sessions. It's about taking responsibility for you. And in taking responsibility, you need to understand the mechanism, the mechanic of creation, how you create the life that you have, and how you can change and turn around using that mechanism that has produced the very life that you have now, how you can turn it around to produce the life you love. Because you are manifesting everything in your life. You're manifesting the type of car you drive through choice. You're manifesting where and how you live by choice. You're manifesting how much money you have in the bank by choice. You're manifesting happiness or not by choice. When we stop blaming others for our situation and take responsibility and call upon Spirit, that eternal, immortal spark of life within you, when we call upon Spirit to assist us to understand the mechanics of creation, then your life will turn around. But it won't happen in one chat. It will happen as you learn to apply the principles. And I have 3 courses up on my website. One is called The Energy of the End Result. The second module is called Up-Leveling. And the third one is called Parallel You. And these 3 courses are part of the package that I'm offering, so that you can work through in your own time the understanding of how your mind works to manifest what you have in your life. How you can take that mechanism and direct it to produce what it is you want to have in your life, to produce magic. And magic is the ability to direct energy for a desired end result. And we can all do magic. The issue is we choose to let energy flow wherever it goes. We don't choose to direct it. Let me teach you how to direct energy for your desired end result. There's a link below where you can book a consultation. It will cost you, but not much. It will be worth it. I guarantee it. And should you choose to move forward and explore how to create the life you love, then I will deduct the cost of that consultation from whatever it is, whatever the step is that you take next with me. Be it a healing session, series of mentorships, digging into the course mechanics of creation, or whatever step you and I deem to be the best way forward for you. This is life-changing stuff. And your life will change when you commit to booking this consultation. So press the button, book a time, pay the money, and we will create magic for you in your life.